Hello backyard vegetable gardeners, welcome to the Backyard Vegetable Gardening channel. Today is Monday, February the 10th, 2025, and I sure hope you're having a great day. Well guys, since you've expressed so much interest in our indoor salad vegetable garden, I thought I'd make a video and give you some tips on how to fertilize it. And tip number one comes down to the type of fertilizer. One of the biggest questions, most common questions that people ask on these gardening channels and in the comments is about the type of fertilizer. Now guys, I'm not a fertilizer salesman. I'm not a salesman of nothing. If we ever recommend something to you, it's probably because we like it or we use it, enjoy it, it's benefited us. And the type of fertilizer I use is Jack's Professional 20-20-20. As you can see, we get it in a large bag, 25-pound bag. It lasts us usually a season or two, and that's both indoors and outdoors. And what I do is I pour them out and divide them up into these little OxyClean tubs. As far as the dosage goes, the amount of fertilizer you use 1 teaspoon. And now these are 3-liter jugs. I find these very convenient. We drink a lot of the Ocean Spray cran grape juice, so we got a lot of these jugs laying around. That's what I use. They're 3 liters. But typically you want to use a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of Jack's Professional 20-20-20 in each one of these jugs. And I'm going to use a teaspoon for what I'm doing. So just get you a level teaspoon, put it into each jug. If there's any little clumps, be sure to break them up. But that's all you need for your indoor garden. You just put your lid on and give it a few turns. Now you got to be careful. Some of these over time, they'll drip. So you make sure your containers are taken care of. Throw them away, get you some new ones. That's all you got to do. It's already mixed up. And as far as your outdoor garden goes, you can use Jack's Professional 20-20-20 outdoors too, but the amount of fertilizer you're going to need is about a tablespoon per gallon. And you don't want to go no less than that. Now, if you're putting transplants out in the ground, that's a different story, but that's a video for another day. And tip number 2 comes down to frequency. People always are curious, how often do I feed my plants? Well, first and foremost, it comes down to the type of growing medium you've got. If you're using a soilless mix, like something that's high in cocoa coir or high in sphagnum peat moss, there's virtually no nutrition in that, and you're gonna have to feed it every time you water it. But you might have an indoor potting mix that's got some slow release fertilizer. You might not have to fertilize any. As far as what I do, I make my own mix. It's either half and half cocoa coir and compost, or peat moss and compost, and we always put in some perlite and vermiculite. I've always got some nutrition in that mix, but I still feed mine at least once a week. We use these self-watering planters. They're really great, and I only have to water them between every 5 and 7 days. It works really great for me. The reason I'm making the video today is because today's the day we do it. I can typically get by coming in Monday morning, feeding and watering my plants, and I'm good all week long as far as those self-watering planters go, and it works out really good. But now if you're talking about some of these back here in these little cups, that's a different story. We have to water them every day. And because that's mostly cocoa coir, I still have to feed them every time I water. Now, I'm not saying I water those every day. Sometimes it's every other day or every third day. It just all depends. I can't tell you why that happens, but I do know this. Every time I water those plants in those little bitty cups, I feed those plants, and they do really well. Now, there's one caveat. We're also growing some like in these baking pans here. And you're seeing that's another round of radishes coming up. I don't fertilize them hardly any. I let them get all the nutrition they need from that compost. And right there at the tail end, when they start bulbing really good, then I'll hit them with a light dose of that 20-20-20. But as far as the watering goes, most of the time it's every other day. You put enough water in that container so that the lid floats, settles down, soaks up real good, and that's all you got to worry about. And the third and final tip regarding how to fertilize your indoor salad vegetable garden involves avoiding salt buildup that can occur from using these synthetic fertilizers. The reason salt buildup can occur is because these synthetic fertilizers, the nutrients found in them are derived from nutrient salts. And there's really not a whole lot you can do about it other than use the product sparingly. You can flush your soil at a regular basis, and you're always going to have to change out that soil every so often. We change out our soil about once a year, and that typically does the job. And because we use a mix that's not really an indoor mix, it's got organic matter in it that provides those plants nutrients, we can flush the soil out a little bit, which kind of dilutes it. It don't eliminate it, it just gives us a little bit more time. And that's my 3 tips on how to fertilize your indoor salad vegetable garden. Hope you're having a great day.